Pictures up, quiet please, we're rolling. Camera.
Speed, set, action. Cut.
Things going pretty well. Not quite the sunset that we wanted, but Wilcox really doesn't deserve a sunset. He gets a gloomy, gloomy day. Almost rains on him in his last scene. Well, usually it's a problem shooting the end of a movie on the first day because your actors aren't at their highest, their highest point. But it's okay today because it's kind of the falling action rather than the climax. Because the climax will actually be shot. The big confrontation between everybody happens a few weeks down the road, so we're all right.
Within Us came about in a very interesting way. It was the summer of '05. I was sitting there thinking, what type of movie do I want to make? And what type of theme do I want to say in a narrative film? And also, as an actor, what type of character I want to portray. And so I started thinking about mental illness and playing that sort of character and telling that sort of story. So I brought RoB Senska in and I said, hey Rob, I've got this idea. I don't have a story, I have these shots, this vision, and this character. Let's play off this, let's create something.
Well, to me, one of the hallmarks of a college film is usually the actors are horrible. And they're always usually a certain age too, they're college age, maybe you might have somebody in their 30s. So when I initially read the script, I was wondering, who they were going to get. And I was just blown away with Donnie Pitchford. I thought he did an outstanding job, really well cast, really played it off. And I think he probably gave, I don't want to say the best performances, but really fit his role and was a true pro all the way through. I never saw him get upset or impatient about anything. And so he was really a pleasure to work with.
Oliver Wilcox is the kind of man who has made mistakes throughout his life. He's made a lot of bad choices. He's obviously a brilliant doctor. He's a doctor of psychiatry. He's attempting to turn that around. He's not sure if he can help the patient, which in this case is Garrick, and he's willing to break the law and break some rules to try to do that. I think he's a very complex character, and I think the audience will find it interesting how he interacts with Garrick and the other characters in the cast.
One of the more challenging aspects of this production was being an actor and director. I might be doing a scene with the other cast members, and then I say cut. Was that good? Look good for you? Was that a print? Okay, how you doing? And then I'd direct my attention back to the actor and then critique the performance and give them more direction if they needed it. When you're director and actor, you can't really see some of your mistakes. So with Brad Mall's help, Dan Murphy's help, and RoB Senska's help, watching my performance, I think we came out on top.
Before shooting began, Derek and I studied a lot of films, even if it's just a shot from this film, a scene from this film, and we knew what we wanted to get from each scene, each character, each lighting scheme. Derek and I have been working together since we started film here at SFA.
And we started writing and researching mental illness and the effects of schizophrenia that has on the patients themselves, the family who care for them.
I think we went through 10 drafts of the script.
And Mr. R. Scott really said, okay, let's dig deeper. Let's tackle this issue of mental illness and the corruption of big business and the corruption of man themselves. Let's dig deeper.
Derek and I would bounce ideas off of each other, and we never really had a conflict during the writing process.
And Within Us came about.
Shot him. He's down here.
We'll make it. He won't find us.
I would get asked, how are you going to carry that out? And it was simple. RoB Senska. RoB Senska, he was the director of photography. He was also the co-writer. RoB and I clicked so well that he came up with a lot of stuff that you see in this movie just by being a co-writer because he knew the story.
One thing I like about this movie is that the scenes look different. Each one has a slightly different color scheme. None of our lighting was arbitrary. I wanted everything to be intentional. Camera movements lighting setups. Garrick is lit differently in certain scenes. When he's in the hospital, we keep him a little darker. He has like more of like raccoon eyes where you can't quite see into his eyes.
Sorry I'm late.
It's okay, Dr. Wilcox. You weren't keeping me from anything. Mr. Arscott gave Brad Mall the script, and he read it. He said, you know, I really like this story. I really like the script. I want to do this. He just plays this sleazy slime ball of a guy, and he nailed it, and he had fun doing it. He also signed on to be our line acting coach, and he was just a true professional. I mean, the guy is an acting veteran. I mean, he's been doing this for years and years and years, and he really brought a nice presence to the screen.
So, my earlier assessment that it might rain turned out to be correct, because now it's rained pretty hard. And we're hoping that at some point the rain might stop. If it stops, then we'll shoot the outside scenes that we need to get today.
I thought it was a great script at a college level, and my other feeling when I read it the first time was like, oh, there's no way they're going to pull this off. You know, it's just too ambitious. Not in that short of a schedule. We were going to be dropping pages left and right. There's just no way. But man, from day one, I don't think the crew dropped a shot once.
Right away, I think I was struck by, a sense of organization. Everything was set out as it should be. There was a chain of command that seemed to be flowing there.
It's so easy on a professional level to get jaded. And I saw students get tired, but I never saw them, not want to try anymore. And it's still exciting to them, and so that was exciting to me.
I shouldn't be in this hospital.
Our new drug, Cyasil, will put a stop to this abnormal activity.
The tester says you should leave!
If I know I have a problem, and I know what it is, then why can't I solve it? What would we do without Mr. Arscott? Mr. Arscott, to me, he's a legend to all of us. And he does so much behind the scenes work. Not only is he our film professor, he is the producer. And he is the go-to man for this movie. And this movie would not have been made without him. He believed in Rob and I. He believed that I could act and direct. He believed Rob could be a writer and DP. And this man just does so much for this department, for this school, and he did a lot for this movie. He's really just devoted a lot of time to teaching us how we should be as filmmakers.
All right, well, we got very lucky. We got Gibbs Hall, which is a condemned dorm. It used to be the girls' dorm, and we're lucky enough to have the top 2 floors as our own. It's pretty much our own studio now. We'll be shooting there for a couple weeks. We have access to any rooms, the hallways. Sydney Tucker and her team did a great job painting the hallways, decorating the rooms.
Today we're painting Gibbs Hall, which is the set for the mental institution.
It's got a very old, natural look to it, and that's what we were going for. We didn't want the new kind of white, bright, industrial look. We wanted that wood floor, kind of nasty walls, paint peeling look, and we got it. So Gibbs Hall.
A lot of the crew this summer had never worked a feature before, so I was a little bit concerned. Usually you have to give very specific descriptions of scenes or lighting setups. I could just tell the gaffer and his boys like what I wanted just in one sentence, and he would set it up. He would anticipate me. That's perfect. The DP has to anticipate the director. The gaffer has to anticipate the DP.
I think of all the students, I saw Rob come the farthest during the production.
And he's just an extraordinary cinematographer. He said something interesting one time. He said, I'm gonna shoot the performance. And I said, yes. That's amazing. Shoot the performance.
In the end, he's completely letting his grips and electricians and his camera crew know exactly what he wants. He shoots pretty pictures, and he's gotten pretty quick and pretty efficient. So I was really proud of Rob.
I was concerned at first we were going to use the crane for this shot, but I did the math, sat out here for 30 minutes staring at this marquee last night. This wasn't going to work. The angles were all wrong. It's too dangerous, couldn't get cops out here, so we decided to go with the jib arm. Took a lot of rehearsals. The jib arm, it's a little rickety, homemade, it's cool. We pulled it off, beautiful. Limo pulls up just in time. Booty shot. Great.
I thought Derek did a great job as a director. Initially, I was a little bit worried about him both acting and directing it.
As a director, he will have the actors do the lines first, and then he'll come along and tweak that, you know, and develop that if need be. If it's what he wants, it's there. So I don't see him as a high-pressure director.
As soon as I'd been on the set for 30 minutes, I understood suddenly why he was cast as he was, why R. Scott approved it. I thought he did an excellent job. And I think his greatest suit as a director is that he cast it correctly.
He looks for what the person, the individual, brings to the part, the way they say the lines, the way they deliver them, and then he builds on that rather than trying to force something out of that person that's not there.
Directing, 90% of it is casting, and he nailed it on that. I mean, he really found the right people, and if he couldn't find the right person, I know he'd do a little bit of rewriting so it would fit that person.
Yeah, so this is our first location move of the shoot. It's a late night shoot. We'll probably be here till 2 a.m. And as you can see behind me, Sydney Tucker did an awesome job on our direction. This is Annie Pasta's restaurant, and it looks nothing like it, so she's doing a great job.
Within Us deals with a lot of moral and ethical issues, you know, alcoholism, child abuse, spousal abuse, infidelity. This movie really honors patients, you know, suffering from schizophrenia and other, not just schizophrenia, but other mental illnesses. We were really delicate with how we portrayed these characters and how I portrayed Garrick and the doctors that cared for them.
The heart of this movie is the horrors of mental disorder and its effects on families.